guys, in this video we're painting this Celeste. It's the moon sun combo with some stars. Make sure you have your canvas out and ready, your plate with some of your paint scooped out onto you. You're gonna need an assortment of brush sizes, excuse me, and then some sort of vessel for water to clean your brushes out, and of course paper towels to dry your brushes and to maybe grab any spills that happen. So I'm going to get us started with the background areas. I'm going to do this side first. It's the darker of the two sides. And I'm going to mix up kind of a darker turquoise color. So a nice scoop of blue in with some of our turquoise here. And then I'm going to add a nice big old scoop of white to that. So something about like that. Just make sure you mix up enough. Fill in that whole half. And I'm just gonna come in here and just get this whole area filled in. And while you work, sometimes it's helpful if you just take a little bit of white on your brush. I'll show you. I'm just gonna get this glob of paint spread out nice. So if I just take a little bit of white on my brush, let me come from here where I'm already dirty, and just brush that in and spread it out, blend it through. It helps with brush strokes. It just lightens the color a little bit and just smooths out any kind of rough marks that your brush leaves behind. So you can just alternate between your color. You can start filling in a little with the turquoise color, and then while you are working along, just take a little bit of white and just get that blended right through the rest of the paint. You do need to be pretty careful on your edge, just because it's going to be yellow and it's going to be hard to cover any kind of slops. There is a little bit of an outline, so anything that's like minor can be covered by that outline. And I am just doing 1/2. So I have this little line marked here. Just gonna stick to the one side of it. Little globs of paint down in the base of my brush. I'm just gonna clean that out. I don't like that. That's better. Okay, so I've got the one side finished. And for this next side, I'm gonna just take same dirty brush. I'm just gonna take a whole bunch more white and just start stirring it slowly into a little bit of my dark turquoise color. I don't need to use all of it because I'm making it very light. So I want a lot more white stirred in than that turquoise color. And if I try to lighten that whole pile, I'm gonna end up using all my white, and I just don't need that much of that color. So this lighter version, you're just gonna come in here and paint this side. And again, you can take white while you work. That was a lot. And just spread it around to help blend it out and create, you know, a smoother finish with your paint. It just helps minimize the appearance of brush strokes. Okay, so I've got this side all finished. Next, I'm going to work on my sun moon thing. So I'm gonna just clean out my brush. And I'm gonna do the lighter side first. The lighter side is the moon side. If you wanna take a Sharpie to outline the features, feel free. I'm pretty sure that the pencil is going to still show through. I will start without it and just see to make sure. But to, you know, make sure that it does show through, you can just take a Sharpie right to trace over, because those lines will be covered with a brown color and that Sharpie will get hidden. But I'm pretty sure that the color is so light that it should show through. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of yellow and stir in with a lot of white. The moon is very, very pale. So there, I've got a very, very pale yellow. And I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in the moon. And I'm gonna go right over these pencil marks, and yes, they show. And you can dodge the eyelid if you want, or just go right over it. I'm gonna go right over it, because I can see it no problem. Just make sure your paint is thin, you don't have like big thick globs. It's got blue on my brush somehow. Let me clean that out a little better. All right. And again, I mean, you can go around the cheek or just go right over it. Same with the mouth, you could go around it or just go right over. Okay, next we're gonna do the sun, and that is a much brighter yellow. So I'm just gonna take a nice big old scoop of yellow, just stir it over in with part of my very pale yellow. I still want a little white mixed in because it's not that bright. I still have blue getting off my brush. Guess it's all right. And just fill in this side. And again, you can paint right over the pencil. It does show through. Just so long as you have thin paint. If you've got big old globs, you might struggle. I'm also gonna go around and do all of the little rays. I'm gonna start with this color, and then I can put some like of the light color on top for a little bit of highlights. But just start with this color as the undercolor, like the base coat. And take your time, just going around every single one, getting that filled in. And there is an outline on these. I said that earlier, but I mean, try to be careful around your edges, but if you get a little bit sloppy, that outline will help clean up that edge. This side is easier because I can just be sloppy on this edge. When I get over here, I'll have to be more careful because that moon is a different color yellow. Just gonna rotate around so I can reach things better. Oops, I already got a little sloppy there. Well, I wasn't paying attention very well. The point of my moon here, I'm gonna have to touch up. Make sure you don't have tons of paint on your brush. These little spaces are very small, so it doesn't take much paint at all. So if you saw what I just did there a second ago, I have started painting this one, And I was like, ooh, I got a lot of paint on my brush. So I just took some of it and put it over here just to, you know, get it off of that space. Okay, got that part done. Next I'm going to come in with the same color. I'm going to do the eyelid on the moon, the cheek on the moon, and the lips on the moon. I'm going to switch over to a smaller brush, and I'm going to use the same darker yellow color. Got this here. The brush is a little stiff. And I'm just going to come in and paint this eyelid. I'm going to do the little cheek. I'm trying to make it nice and circular. My sketch isn't sketched on perfect, so I'm just going to kind of adjust it a little. And then the lips. And it's just the 1/2. And then for the features, the eye, the cheek, and the mouth on the sun side, I'm going to just make a nice bright orange. So a scoop of red into a lot of yellow here. And I'm going to take a little scoop of white and stir that in as well. I want it to stay fairly bright. Let me mix a little bit more red in there. A little bit more yellow. I just want it to look very orangey. A little bit more yellow. Now it's kind of like a coral color. There we go, about like that. That looks good to me. And I'm going to paint the eyelid. Make sure I don't have so much paint on my brush. I don't want globs. We'll do the cheek. And again, just try to straighten up the circle. I know my sketches aren't always perfect, so if yours is a little wonky, just do your best. Kind of make that nice and round. I kind of want it a little bit bigger, just so it's about the same size as that one. I'm just gonna spread it out a little bit more, just to make it a little bit bigger. There, that seems more even, I think. And then just the 1/2 of the mouth. Okay, so next we can, let's see, what should we do next? I'm just gonna let these parts dry, and I'm gonna work on, let's see, this background gets a bunch of stars and things on it, and those we just paint white to start, and then we can go back in and decide what colors to do. I did some kind of a light orange and then some kind of a shade of yellow, but they all start out as white, and that just kind of primes the space because the colors just don't show up nice on the darker colors. So we got to put white back on there so that those colors can shine nice and bright. So I'm just going to go in and just do stars to start. So just a little white in my smaller brush. I do stars as if I'm like grading a paper. So I did the up, the down, and then go through the middle over here through the middle, and then just connect my last 2 points. And then just fill that right in completely. And it doesn't take a lot of paint. If you're getting globby, it's just because you have way too much paint on your brush. So I've got one, maybe a nice big one over here. Maybe do a couple of little guys. And you can put these wherever you want. I'm just doing it on the one side though, this darker blue section. And I am leaving some space because I'm gonna put like little dots and like the little kind of snowflake looking stars, so like little asterisks. So I can go back into my empty spaces and do those. What in the world happened there? I got a wonky one. There we go. Oh, bubber. And maybe just fit in one more little guy right here. Now I'm just gonna, well, you can go ahead and do a second coat on all these. I'm just gonna kind of real quickly on some of the darker spots still showing through, get them covered. But you're gonna probably want a second coat. That yellow is gonna show through these pretty plainly still, or the turquoise is gonna show through. So you see the dark spots on all of them. Just go in with a second coat, maybe even a third, before we layer on the color. For the sake of just keeping the video short, I am going to just do the one coat and, you know, just so that I don't have to upload 5 hours of video. So I'm also coming in and just doing some little tiny dot circle-y things, like little stars further away. You can just put them in randomly wherever. You can do little clusters if you want. Oh, that one got weird. And all these ones, these tiny little guys we're putting in, they are going to stay white. I'm also going to do the little asterisk ones. So it's just an X and like a line through. And you can fit those in wherever you have a little bit of empty space. I should probably use a smaller brush. That's okay. I'm doing just fine. Okay, so lastly, we just have a bunch of like outline work to do, and that's where we're gonna be using that brown. I'm gonna use a very thin brush. I've got this one here and my brown paint. And I'm gonna thin that paint out just a little by adding a little bit of water to it. And I just dip my brush in my jar of water, and I'm just gonna stir that into my brown, just a little bit. Just thinning it out just helps it flow a little easier on the canvas and just makes outlining a little bit easier. Just make sure you're not stirring in too much water. You don't want it dripping down your canvas. So if you hold your plate up like this and it starts to drip down, you know you have way too much water in it, and just get more paint stirred in. So I'm gonna go ahead and start, and I'm gonna get my circle part done. It's just all the way around. If you have a bigger canvas you're working on, your line can be a little thicker. Since mine is the 8 by 10, I'm trying to keep the line as thin as I can. But with a bigger canvas, your line can definitely be thicker. I'll do the face. I'll do the eyebrows. Try not to rest my hand in wet paint. Go around the eyes. I'm gonna add little lashes and some little cute little dots. So I've got the one. Could use a little touch up there on the bottom. Got a little weird. And I'm just gonna do 1, 2, 3 little lashes down. Get this eyeball. just got these liner brushes. I left them home. I wish I'd have brought them because these are getting kind of hard to use. They just get old and start to spread out. And I'm going to do the same, 3 little eyelashes. And then I'm going to just put 3 little dots above the lid on the outside edge. So 1, 2, 3. And same on this side. 1, 2, 3. And go down the middle of the face on that pencil line and get the nose. There's a little bug. In the mouth. So I'm going to do the circles first. I'm going to put a spiral inside of those. So I start in the middle and work my way around and around till I get to my outside edge. I'm running out of paint. More paint on my brush. And the same on this one. I start in the middle. I'm just going to go around and around till I get to my outside edge. Did run out of paint again a little bit here on this edge. I'm going to just clean up. And in the mouth. I'm going to do the line through. Yeah, the lips. And then the bottom half of the face I haven't done yet, between the sun and the moon. And that's just going to run right down through the center of the mouth. Oh, but I never did touch up my moon. That's okay. It's barely visible. And then we're going to go around the outside of all the little rays with the same brown. this one is pointy. The other ones are kind of rounded, so I'm just gonna kind of make him round too. So one more step within those rays, we're gonna put some like little lines inside. So there's gonna be 3. The center one will be the longest, and then 2 shorter ones on either side. So here's my long one in the middle. Then I'm gonna do a little one and a little one. And I'm gonna put that inside of every one of my rays. So long, short, short. Oh look, I put my hand in wet paint and transferred it onto the nose. Let me use a different brush. That was driving me crazy. Hopefully I can use a small square one on its edge and do all right. So middle, short, short. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. Now these ones seem a little different, so I'm just gonna go back over them. Okay, very last couple of steps, we're gonna put the color on our stars, and there's a little bit of a white highlight on the eyelid, the cheeks, and the lips. So let's get the white highlight done. Just gonna use a small brush, this one, a little bit of white, and right across the lid, just a little swoop. I'm gonna put just a little swoop inside each one of my cheeks. And then just across the top of both of the lips. Okay, now I can go ahead and paint over all my stars. I'll mix up a couple of colors. I'm just gonna use yellow and orange, but I'll make them a little lighter. So my orange color, I'm just gonna add a little bit more white to. And I'll pick out a few stars to paint that color. And you don't have to go right to the edge. The final step is going to be just to give all your stars a little bit of a white outline. So don't worry about getting the very edge covered with white, because you're gonna go back in and just give them a quick outline. And it doesn't matter which stars you choose. I'm gonna do these 2. This kind of orangey peach color. And then whatever I've left over, after I go in and use this color, I'll make them a yellow. And I don't have the best coverage. You can see that blue kind of coming through. That's just because I only did 1 coat. I recommended that you had do at least 2, if not 3. So hopefully yours are covering a lot better and look nicer. How about we do this little guy? Well, that's too much paint. That one, maybe this tiny one. What else should we do? How about this bottom one? Okay, now I'm gonna do my yellow. And I'm gonna use pretty much the same yellow here. If you don't have any, it's just yellow with some white mixed in. It's not as light as the moon color, so it's just a little bit more yellow. I have some here, not very much, so I'll just make up a little bit more. So I want it bright, but I still need to lighten it just a little. So it's not quite as light as that one. And just whatever stars I have left over, I'm going to fill in this color. So I've got these two little ones here. I've got this big one and a kind of a medium one. Then lastly, I'm just going to go around the edge of all of my stars with a little bit of white. Smaller brush. Probably just going to use the same square one because my detail liner brush was just being a poop, so I don't want to struggle with it. I'm just going to use this one on the narrow edge, kind of up and down, and get just a quick outline on the edges of my stars. Apparently I have wet paint there. My gosh, I'm getting paint all over the place. Let me just take my towel quick, see if I can get that off. Find a clean spot on my towel so I don't transfer paint. I got some over here, which is dry. Not coming off too good. It's okay. It's just tiny. I can't even hardly see it. I'll be all right with it. I'll just be more careful. The little itty bitty stars are a little trickier to get your outline on. Excuse me. And that finishes up this painting. I do have this little smudge on my nose. I'm just going to take a little bit of my light yellow color. Try to cover that just a little. Still shows a bit, but okay. I'm signing my name. I'm going to use my darker turquoise color. I'm just going to write my name down here in the lower right-hand corner. And then I am done. When you guys finish up, please take pictures and post to my Facebook page, Willy-Nilly. I have a pinned post right at the top that says, put your pictures here. I love seeing them. So please do that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.